So hopefully you have now figured out how to use your calculator to evaluate a radical. And this is where we just came from. And I've got it blank, but you should already have filled out. The answer that we got was x is equal to 3 plus or minus the 4th root of 21. Now, when we did the 4th root of 21, we got 2.14. So if I were wanting to evaluate this, not in radical form, but as a decimal, remember that this represents two separate things. This is 3 plus 2.14, or it's 3 minus 2.14. So our two solutions would be x equals 5.14 or x equals 0.86. Those would be the two possibilities that we would get. Okay? So let's go ahead and have you check some of these answers on your own. Try to work out numbers 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll come back together and go over these answers. I'm going to leave the video recording right now, give you about 3 or 4 minutes to work on these, and then we will go over the answers. Please try these on your own and see if you're on the right track. Just ignore that bell. Okay, at this point, if you need some more time, go ahead and pause the video and start it back up when you're ready. Otherwise, let's go ahead and go over these. So here, this one's really simple. This would be a straightforward level 2. I've already got an x to the 5th by itself. So we start off by taking the 5th root of each side. And don't let this worry you that we've got a negative 48 here. Because remember, if you have an odd root, it's okay to do a negative. So we get x is equal to, unfortunately, there is no 5th power that divides evenly into 48. But we can think of this as the 5th root of negative 1 times the 5th root of positive 48. The 5th root of negative 1 is just negative 1. So we can think of this as the negative 5th root of 48. But then the directions also say to write this one as a decimal. So if we do the 5th root of 48, don't forget we need to make it negative. So the answer I get is 2.17. Now see if just to yourself you can answer Why don't I need a plus or minus on this one? If you're not sure about the answer, look back at your notes. For number 2, since this is not in parentheses, that means that I need to move the 34 first. So I'm going to add 34 to both sides, which gives me x to the 6th is equal to 215. And now I'm going to do the 6th root of both sides. I get x equals, I don't believe that there's a 6th power that goes into 215. Let me double check my table. 64 is not going to work, so there is not. So the answer that we get is plus or minus the 6th root of 215. That would be as simple of a radical as you can get. But then as a decimal, that would be 2.45. Plus or minus 2.45. Again, if you're wondering why a plus or minus on this one, but not on this one, go back into your notes and try to find the answer to that question. Last question. This is a level 3, so I'm going to start by adding 6 to both sides to get the exponent term over here, the x plus 10, by itself. Then we're going to do the 5th root of both sides. X plus 10 is equal to, no plus or minus here, just the 5th root of 70, which, just like all the other ones we looked at for some reason, cannot be simplified. But now I can subtract 10 from both sides, and I get negative 10 plus the 5th root of 70. That's our answer as a simplified radical. The 5th root of 70 is 2.34 plus negative 10 is negative 7.66. And you might have gotten 6.7 depending on how you rounded in your calculator. And that's okay. So that's what we get. And I think that that's it for your notes today. It is. Homework should be coming out here in a minute. You can use the rest of the hour to work on the Day 4 worksheet. You can also use that time to help each other out with the Level 3 Day 3 worksheet. That will be due at the end of the class period. Make sure that you have as much of that done as you possibly can. I will be back on Friday. I'll have another video recording for you tomorrow. Please make note of questions that you have as you go so that, don't mind the bell, so that when I get back here on Friday, you have a focus as to where you want to get started. Okay? That is all, and I will see you guys soon.